Hey guys, and welcome back to Cultured Boys, a show where two guys just want to have a chat. I'm Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by Pepe. And this week, we are talking about the one, Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, this kind of follows on from our chat that we did a couple weeks ago, because we read Choujin X.
Yeah.
And that discussion, we felt like, well, I knew beforehand, but Nathan has never read or watched Tokyo Ghoul, which is where a lot of the hype came from for that series.
Yep.
So we've dialed back the clock a little bit, and we're going to do a Tokyo Ghoul episode.
Yes.
I haven't watched it for like 10 years since the anime came out. So...
And I never watched it until like 4 days ago.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to jump into that. How you doing, Nate?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I will say we have a proper breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
I had to fight the urge to do like a joke one and then go the opposite and be like, oh, from the creator of Choujin X, Sui Ishida.
Just troll the fuck out of me in this breakdown.
Yeah. Like, just do a complete opposite of the Choujin X one and just like, oh, from the creator of Choujin X, Sui Ishida. Ghouls exist. They're crazy.
But you know what I mean? Like, in our previous discussion, we said that with Choujin X, you could swap out a lot of the words and it would be the plot summary to Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. But we'll get into that. Nathan, do you want to give the breakdown quick and then we can discuss a bit more?
Sure, no problem. Tokyo Ghoul, as previously stated, created by Sui Ishida, published in Weekly Young Jump September 8th, 2011 to September 18th, 2014. 14 volumes available. Anime was produced by Studio Pierrot, aired July 4th, 2014 to March 27th, 2015. I believe what my notes have is just Tokyo Ghoul and doesn't include Re or however you want to say it. So 2 seasons, 24 episodes.
Yeah.
The story follows Ken Kaneki, a college student who barely survives a deadly encounter with Risei Kamishiro, his date who reveals herself as a ghoul. He is taken to the hospital in critical condition. After recovering, Kaneki discovers that he underwent a surgery that transformed him into a half ghoul. I'm not reading any more than that, but thank you, Tokyo Ghoul Wiki. There's more, but it's probably just gonna say too much.
I mean, that is pretty accurate there. I think that's a really good one. Like, there's some ones which are just kind of like, oh, it gives you either too much or too little. That gives a proper rundown of what it sets you up for what is going to happen in Tokyo Ghoul.
There was another like 4 sentences, but
Yeah,
I know where to cut it. I've done enough of these.
yeah, he's a pro now at this point. So Tokyo Ghoul. So you watched this then, Nathan?
Yes, I watched the anime and I watched the dub on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I have watched up to season 2. I started
wow.
episode 7.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. So you've really gone in on this then. If you're in season 2, then yeah, Christ. Because I obviously, like in our previous episode, watched Daima, so I was I was watching quite a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched Tokyo Ghoul seasons 1 and 2 before, so I kind of get a rundown of a lot of it. I did watch 3-4 episodes again just to refresh myself with a little bit, because again it has been a while, but I just wanted to get back into it. And boy, I remember why I was so hyped about this series back. Bear in mind, as I said before at the start of the episode, it's been 10 years roughly since I've had any real interaction with the anime itself, because I never watched RE for the series.
Yeah.
Or Re, I'm just going to call it Re. Let's call it Re because it's just going to be there. So I never watched Re, but I read it and then didn't finish it.
Yeah.
However, all of my Tokyo Ghoul experiences from the anime, and I know there's some few differences in the manga and the anime, but we won't get into that because
okay.
it's the way that Tokyo Ghoul ends and how it goes into Re.
Oh, okay.
The anime ends a little bit differently, so
okay, interesting.
but you haven't seen that, so we won't go into it.
Funny enough, I'm not that far off though. Like
No,
24 episodes, so like 12 episodes each, and I'm on episode 7. Like I'm practically almost finished.
Yeah, you're getting there. Yeah, you're like...
I understand now why when this came out and when like Re came out, like why everybody was talking about it. I get it now.
Yeah.
I also have more context for like, because for the longest, when anyone showed me anything Tokyo Ghoul, it was always like the mask and the eye patch. And I was like, cool. And then like that doesn't get shown for quite a while, so I was quite confused.
No, yeah. Especially with like the white hair as well. That's one thing with it.
Oh yeah, that too.
Because that's one thing, because is like you see how Kaneki develops as a character throughout this whole thing, and it's like
Yeah.
it is kind of nuts. And the shit he goes through as well is insane. Like there's a lot of stuff in this.
I will say though, whilst like you said, there are a lot of things where you can interchangeably take Choujin and Ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
The one clear difference though is Kaneki is the only character we've seen get turned into a Ghoul. Whereas Choujin, like, oh yeah, you know, if your body can handle it and you're one of the chosen ones and you inject yourself with this shit, you get turned into a Choujin, right? But this, I was like, eventually you learn there are other people who got turned into half ghouls, because there's the twins that I still know barely anything about yet, that have like one ghoul eye and one normal eye. But it's not explained how the other ghouls really have turned into ghouls.
Yeah, like by the sounds of it, like especially when you get introduced to I can't remember, is it like Hinami, the girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, like because obviously she's a ghoul, but like she's a kid at the same time. So I imagine ghouls and humans are completely separate, but like they just get born like a natural way. So you're born a ghoul, or
I suppose.
But in this case, with Kaneki's case, it's a rare one because like they don't really turn into ghouls. It's not really a thing. Ghouls just exist and they just eat people.
Yeah.
Like Kaneki's case is a very rare one. Let's put it that way. Especially with the one-eyed ghouls as well. Like
Yeah, he had an organ transplant from Rise,
yeah,
but that was, man, that whole thing was also just like a surprise to me, because like it opens and like the guy they call Jason and he's hunting Rise because Rise is a ghoul that overeats, and that's unusual. That's not supposed to happen, because they're like, oh yeah, you know, like you eat one human, that's supposed to last you like 30 days or something. You don't need to eat again. But she just, for some reason, Rise wants to keep eating, but you don't know that's Rise.
No, yeah.
And then you immediately meet Kaneki and his best friend Nagacha, or Hide, right? And they're at this cafe, and then all of a sudden, like, she walks in, Rise walks in, and you're like, oh, look, oh, he's good, he's falling for this girl, and she wants to be with. And then it's like she's a ghoul. But then, like, it just happens all really fast, because it's like, then she tries to eat him, and then he gets the organ transplant.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck is going on? What the hell?
It does catch, like, even then, like, because bear in mind, when we were doing the Choujin episode, I was like, I remember like watching Tokyo Ghoul, but like again, it's been 10 years. All these details are kind of like, because I completely forgot how Kaneki got turned into a ghoul as well.
Yeah.
So when I was watching this episode, I was like, oh crap, yeah, it was from her. Because I knew that she had something to do with it, but I forgot that like she died because she got crushed, presumably.
Yeah.
But again, like a lot of this stuff is me reminding myself. So I'm actually probably gonna be asking you a lot of questions, Nathan. Like, because I know again bits and pieces from my last rewatches.
Yeah.
But you know, like where you're like, oh, I'm hazy. What happened in this part? What happened in this part? And like obviously him turning into Ghoul is a bit like completely glanced over, because I knew it happened, but I was like, oh crap, yeah, it's because of the organ transplant. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
Like you usually think, oh yeah, you get bitten by a ghoul, so you turn into one. It's like, no, it happened. This is a very rare occurrence, and you're like, oh, okay.
I mean, to be fair though, in the anime, it happened so fast. I wouldn't blame you for forgetting.
Yeah.
Because it is literally like, it happens, he gets a transplant, and then he's like in hospital and then out of hospital real fast. It's just like, it's almost like glanced over in a way.
Yeah, you get like hints of Rize like in the back of his mind where like he's like, oh, I want to eat meat, like I want to eat flesh or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's like, just do it, just eat it, like go on. You're a ghoul now, you got to do it.
She's the devil over his shoulder, but there's no angel to be like, no, don't do it.
No.
Don't do it, Ken. It's bad. It's just Rise being like, do it. Do it. Join me on the dark side.
Did you watch the sub or dub of this as well?
I watched the dub because I needed to do some other work.
You watched dub, yeah, 100%. Like, because I did the same thing, and like you forget, like, because I think the first time I watched Tokyo Ghoul, it was the sub. So I think this is my first watch through with the dub of it, and I was like, freaking hell, like Ken Kaneki's voice actor in this is like freaking put it, because there's so much like screaming and terrified looks of Kaneki and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and you're like, Jesus Christ, this guy is like basically going through torture to voice that. It's very well voice acted in this, and there's just like complete torment the whole way through. You're seeing like Rise over his shoulder and stuff like that. And you just hear him like having these like basically tearing himself apart because he just wants to
Yeah.
he wants to give into his ghoul, like eat flesh eating things, but he's like, no, I'm human.
The evolution of Kaneki's character though is crazy.
Yeah.
Because it is season 1 is a lot of him like, no, I don't, I'm not like you, I don't want to do it, I can't. And then it's just like, to protect what I love, I have to do these things.
Yeah.
And it's just like he goes from like, no, I don't want to eat, to like, I'm a cannibal now. I eat other ghouls and I'm evolving, but I don't want to.
Yeah. That's one thing, because like it turns from, like you said, there's like, you know, like the devil and the like angel on your shoulder kind of thing. And like, if anything, like you said, seeing him change as a character, like the old Kaneki is like kind of weirdly still in there a little bit at times, but more often than not, he's like forefront. He's like, yeah, one-eyed ghoul Kaneki.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he's in season 2, once he's got the white hair and stuff, he's like a reluctant villain.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously you would snap, right? You had the power, you got fucking tortured by what's his face, the fucking Jason guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, like, yeah, you would break. Understandably, anyone would break, right? But it is just kind of like, wow, dang, like, I am not used to, you know, the shonen seinen kind of series where it's like, normally the hero is like so righteous or so following their own path that they're like, no, I do not stray. No matter what happens, I will not venture off this path. But this is like one of those rare occasions where they're like, no, fuck you. I have to become the thing I hate to save everything I hold dear. And I'm like, at least in the manga I read, in the animes that I've watched, you don't see that a lot.
I think it, like, the whole face of like Ken Kaneki at the time in that anime sphere, like when Tokyo Ghoul was big, it was like massive, you know what I mean? Like everyone was going crazy over this series. It's like, why are people going over this? And it's like, oh, you're seeing him as a character just change and become this kind of dark protagonist was like kind of like,
yeah.
Because remind me as well, because again, I'm going to ask a few questions here, because I remember the torture stuff. And I remember like that's where he snaps kind of stuff. But like, what is the thing that pushes him to become that ghoul, apart from the torture?
It's literally because I forget his actual name, but who they codename Jason because he wears the hockey mask.
Yeah.
He's torturing him, and he's basically there were those 2 people undercover in his organization that were helping Kaneki, and they were telling him, everyone from the cafe, they're coming to rescue you, like, just hold on, please hold on, they're coming to rescue you. But then Jason captures them and forces Kaneki to choose which one dies. But him being him, he's like, I don't want to choose. There has to be a way. There has to be a way to save them both. He ends up wasting all the time and they both die.
Yeah.
And he snaps. Rise is in his mind the whole time, and she's like, being all good and not sacrificing to save people is stupid. That's the wrong way to think. You have all this power and you're wasting it. And he's like, yeah, no, but that's what my mum taught me. And he basically experiences a shit ton of trauma mentally and physically all at that one moment, and he breaks.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you're right. I have to do the things that I hate to save the ones that I love. So because he loses those 2 people, and because Rise makes him remember that his mum unalives herself and didn't choose him, he snaps and then becomes white hair, accepts a bit more of the ghoul power, kills Jason. This is all supposedly his way of doing bad things so that he can keep everyone at the cafe safe. But so far, where I've gotten in season 2, I don't quite understand how he plans for them to stay safe, because he joined Aogiri, the like ghoul organization, like the gang.
Yeah.
And the last thing I saw was he was at that like ghoul prison.
Right. Yeah.
And he was like freeing them, but then he was fighting that one guy, and then he ate the one guy, the other ghoul, that like super like crazy like muscular one, you know.
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah.
So now I'm kind of like, I don't know what your plan is here, bud. Like, is your plan to release all the ghouls and then have an only ghoul world, but all you can eat is humans, so like you can't get rid of all the humans or you'll all die out? Or like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Because you're not really doing anything to keep your people safe. I don't quite understand.
He's gone so far off the deep end that he's like, you kind of get the essence that he's lost his way a little bit.
Yeah.
That he's just doing it for like he's giving into these kind of things. And like, if you don't mind me asking, whereabouts is Hide in this situation?
Hide is doing runner jobs for the investigators,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and he's like piecing stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it's come across at the moment is that he kind of has a feeling that like Kaneki is like involved somehow, because Kaneki's like gone missing at this point, you know.
Yeah.
Where he's got the white hair, they think he's gone missing or he's dead or something. And Hide's kind of piecing stuff together, and he's like asking too many questions at the investigators.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally way too many questions, because he's like, I know one of the guys in the squad is like loose lip, but like he literally is just hanging around at their office being like, oh, you know, that eye patch, he's kind of crazy, right? Like, what's up with that?
Oh, yeah. And the guy that's like loose lips, isn't it like he's got like long hair or something? I can't remember.
But he's like the short brown haired guy who's like, you know, Amon's new partner, Akira, she's his previous partner's daughter.
Yeah.
And it's the guy that went to the academy with her, and they've got like that rivalry. It's that guy.
Yeah.
He's like talking too much.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he's like that kind of character.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hide seems to be piecing stuff together right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what, I mean, I can imagine what I think the fallout of all of this is going to be, is that probably he's going to come in contact with Kaneki or Eye Patch at this point, and he's either going to bring him back, or that'll be the final straw, and that's when like Ken loses everything that he was, because he ends up accidentally killing and eating Hide, or I have no idea, really. That's where the two possibilities I imagine it's going.
I obviously won't say anything, but I remember the last episode specifically. Because you know when like you watch a series and you're like, oh, okay, I remember these certain bits and pieces. I'm piecing things together from my last rewatch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, this happens. Oh, and that's why this happens. And like, you know, like even with your breakdown there of all that kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, this.
Yeah.
And the one thing I remember from the final episode of season 2, again, I'm not going to go into it at all, but I remember it is a fucking heartbreaking ending. I remember that, and I remember watching it and my jaw was like...
I figure it has to be, because like everything else outside of Al-Giddy, the investigators, One-Eyed Owl, who's this mysterious, powerful ghoul that they're hunting down as well.
Yeah.
Everyone else is still hunting for Kaneki. Hinami, Toka's still thinking about him all the time. Hide is still doing something about it. Like, everyone to do with the cafe and his old life are still trying to like get him back. So I figure, especially because of the way it's going and the way he's losing himself, I'm like, something tragic has to happen. Because I mean, I've not seen anything in this series that's like, oh, this is heartwarming and, you know, there's going to be a happy ending.
This is the one thing about it, right? This is what I said in the last episode when we talked about Choujin X. Remember, like, there's so many comedic parts of Choujin X, which I'm like, hey, that's quite funny.
Yeah.
This has none of that.
No.
This is like, it's like trauma to trauma to trauma to darkness. Like,
yeah.
Sucker gets killed. It is like, Jesus. That's why I was like quite surprised at how Choujin was quite like a step in a different direction in that way. And like, don't get me wrong, it still carries over those dark themes every now and then, but nowhere near as much as what Tokyo Ghoul was doing.
Nah, every fucking people drop like flies.
Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul.
You spiral down and you're like, fucking hell, man. This is like there's some great, like, honestly,
I mean, it makes sense why the intro song is Unravel and why it's called Unravel, because you know, if you pay too much attention, like, you do feel like you're unraveling. it's...
I think like we have that acoustic version of Unravel on our playlist, don't we?
Yeah.
I will say the final episode I don't want to give a spoiler, but like
I was gonna say I haven't heard the acoustic version yet in the series, but I'm waiting for it.
Final episode, that's all I'll say, bro. Get ready for an emotional fucking... I have goosebumps even just remembering that moment. This is, I feel it right now. I'm only thinking about it. I'm like, fucking hell, man. That was like...
I got more context for, again, in typical fashion, something that I haven't seen, Pepe has seen. I'm getting more context for more songs in our playlist. I'm like, season 2, ending 2. I'm like, oh, I know this song. This is in the...
Oh, isn't it by... As a Marashi or something like that. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I know the one you're on about. Yeah,
I don't remember what it's called, but I was like, I know this song, and I'm pretty sure opening 2 as well
opening
might be
two
on the
is in
playlist
there.
because
Yeah.
I'm like, I sat there one time and I listened to it and I was like, I think I know this song.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm in two minds about opening two, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first heard it, I was like, this is crap. I don't like this. And then I don't know whether it's because I kept on watching the series and I vibed with it, but like at points, I actually think, like, I don't think it's as good as Unravel. Bear in mind, Unravel is peak. But like, I actually really, really like the second opening. And I think it's like, it's a weird haunting kind of thing. Like, you know, where it's like kind of that piano.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like, so I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I can understand it's like not everyone's, but there's something about it which it hooks me, and I'm like, this is a banger. Like,
I agree with you that it fits with the haunting thing.
mm-hmm.
But personally, as a song, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
I do often. The reason it took me a while to remember that I even knew the song was because I tend to skip that one a lot because I'm
Yeah.
like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like, considering a lot of the songs we normally would listen to from anime, I was like, this one was really, the vibe changes like heavily. You know, like you'll get a bunch of like super upbeat like bangers, and then it's like this one that's just like super depressing in comparison. I'm like, oh no, it doesn't fit the vibe. Skip.
I can completely understand that as well, because I very much know that it is, you either gonna love it or like just strongly dislike it. Like,
Yeah.
I think I can completely understand it. I'm one that vibes with it heavily. And again, as I said, I didn't really like, after Unravel, you think this is a bit of a step down, right? But I think like as time went on, I was like, this is like, no, man. There's a piano in it, and the voice is like kind of haunting, and it's like there's a lot of that where I'm like, okay, cool, I vibe with this a bit more.
I just can't.
Yeah,
I just can't get over it.
that's it. That understandable is understandable.
I mean, honestly, again, it's the way our playlist just is.
Yeah,
Pepe, it's got like idol music or something, and it'll be like 3 idol songs in a row, and then this song, and I'm like, yeah, nah, ain't happening.
It's such a mix, man, because like, it's like there's gonna be all sorts of different genres here. Even though like, yeah, a lot of it is anime music, a lot of it is actual Japanese artists as well that don't do anime. So there might even be some like J rap in there as well, or like there's like some other bits.
Yeah.
And then this one is like, you would not really find any other song like this in the playlist, so it's a bit more.
No, we don't have a lot, and that's why it's like really harsh swap when it comes on, because it is always just like
It's whiplash, yeah.
jamming, depressed.
Yeah. And I think like even the visuals for that opening as well are very like, I want to say like artsy in a way. It's very, because it's like it's drawn in a way, and then like
It's kind of like paintbrushy, almost
That's
like
it, yeah.
watercolors, kind of like I love that aesthetic. I really do.
yeah.
That kind of art style, I've always vibed with that.
Yeah, and I think it's like there's a bit in the song where it like there's this like 3 notes of just really heavy guitar, and then it just goes back to piano, and it's like, and it's like, like I think it's like just showing like the emotion that comes through in that opening just fits that series perfectly. Like as I said, like not everyone vibes with the song, but I'm like, man, it fits.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't vibe with the song, but played with the series, very good fit.
Hand in hand. Yeah, absolutely.
At least if you do listen to it, it gets you ready for whatever shit's about to happen on screen.
And bear in mind as well, when this was coming out in 2014, 2015, you're like, oh boy, here's my weekly trauma that I'm going to get ready for. None of it was like, all of it would be it'd hook you in. You'd be like, yeah, I'm ready for this next episode. But you'd also be like, fucking hell, what bullshit's going to happen today? What kind of trauma am I going to get ready for?
I can only imagine just like, yay, depresso espresso.
I feel like this is like one of the first like series back then which set you up for like what was going to be other dark series. This is like one that I felt like pushed the dark series into the mainstream a bit more, because apart from Death Note and maybe like a handful of others, you didn't really have like, it was all like, oh, here's your Dragon Balls, here's your One Piece, Naruto, all kind of.
Yeah, it was mostly like shonen or like shoujo or something.
Yeah, and then like this was a series everyone's like, whoa, this is dark, I love it. And then slowly but surely into the mainstream, you're getting more and more of these dark series come through, where you see today like your JJKs, your Chainsaw Mans, you're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say Demon Slayer still feels quite shonen-y. I know it's got some moments of like, oh,
Yeah, it's more. I'd agree with you on that. Yeah.
but like those like Chainsaw Man, JJK kind of ones, they're heavy up there now. Even though JJK is still quite shonen in itself, but like it has,
Oh yeah.
especially when compared to something like Tokyo Ghoul. It's very shonen. I mean, but those depressing-y kind of ones, those ones like, again, Attack on Titan as well.
Yeah.
These are like all these things that are coming through in 2015. And you're like, because I think Attack on Titan, the anime launched properly in like 2013, 2014. That's when AOT got big. And then you're following up with Tokyo Ghoul in 2014, 2015. That's where everything coming through in that era. That was, I think, for me, that was my era of I'm not reading just solely Shonen Jump anymore. I'm getting into these other big series. more series gonna fuck you up mentally. But yeah, man.
Dang, what a interesting time.
What a time to be alive, am I right? Or in
Yeah.
not so much for the characters in the series I'm watching, but still.
Dang.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
But I assume you're gonna keep watching this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I at least want to finish the main series. I'd say main,
Yeah. The
quote unquote main series,
Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul in itself. I want to finish that because I'm so close.
yeah.
We'll see if I continue and watch or
Yeah.
Ray or whatever, however you say it.
Yeah. It's my problem with it, right? Is again, I'm not gonna go into spoilers or whatever with it, but it is a different protagonist, but it's still linked in that same universe. But it's hard to say context of it without giving spoilers, so bear with me here. But one thing that kind of put me off it branches off a little bit and you're like, okay, where's this going? In the early chapters, you're like, where is this going?
Okay.
And there's still mysteries surrounding surrounding Tokyo Ghoul. So there's a reason why it carries on. Like, don't get me wrong, you're really grateful that this series is carrying on.
Okay.
But you're also like, you're setting up a whole new scenario here. Where is this going?
Okay.
And my one problem is that I got into Tokyo Ghoul solely through the anime.
Okay.
And anime finishes in March 2015. I'm like, well, I want more. You giving me a thing here, and I want more. So I start the manga. I start the manga of Ari Ray whatever, and I'm getting into it, and I'm like, this is hard to follow. This is the one thing. So when you look at Nathan, I think you can agree with me here as well, especially since you read Attack on Titan. There's certain parts of those series where some of it becomes a bit like, I don't know if I'm vibing with the art style of this. It's really hard to follow right now.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on and I'm like, I'm struggling here. I'm actually kind of struggling to get into this. And even though I love this anime, this art style is kind of like, it's hard right now.
Okay. I get that. Yeah.
And this is when you're reading week to week, you know what I mean? And sometimes with Young Jump, sometimes it isn't week to week, sometimes it's every 2 weeks. When you struggled with one chapter, waiting 2 weeks and starting with another one, it's tough. It's like, it could be a bit like, oh, okay, do I really want to follow this anymore?
I get that.
So I'll let you make your own decisions on how you continue forward after you finish Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, I might just see,
Yeah.
you know, like give the first episode a go and see what happens.
Yeah, best way to do it. Make your own decisions with it. Because I think, honestly, the anime might be a better way to go with it. I haven't tried the anime with it, but I might even give it a go just to be like, I want to know how this series actually ends.
Yeah, well, because I think by this point it's all done and dusted. I think everything's done, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I might just give the first episode of Re a go and see what happens. If not, just move on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because there are plenty of other things that I need to finish and or start. So,
yeah. It's good though. Like, I'm glad you enjoyed it though. That's the one thing. Like, or are currently enjoying it. Because I was like, I wonder how far he's gonna get with it.
it's super cool. The combat's like really cool, especially in season 2, where you know it's amping up. So
Yeah.
even Kaneki's abilities, his Kagane or whatever they're called, they're like evolving, and then the investigators are like evolving their can't remember what their weapons are called.
Yeah,
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's cool to see. And what I love about the series as well is that not everything is black and white. Like, there's so many like great areas on the Ghoul side, and I think they're the Doves. I think they're called like the investigators and that.
Yeah.
There's like so many different like, oh, this person's good, this person's good, and it's like this person's an asshole, or this person's an asshole. It's just everywhere there's like shit going down, and that's what like keeps you watching. It's just like, oh, there's just turmoil, there's trauma, there's cool fight scenes, everyone's eating each other. And I like, even like just rewatching the first few episodes of season 1 again has made me feel like I just want to get back into watching this, and this is what is pushing me to watch like as well. I might actually just start again because I'm like, I want to see how this actually ends. Like, it's giving me that motivation again.
I mean, you might as well, right? It's there, so.
And even though I did struggle with the manga and I was like, oh, I'm not sure how I feel about this, bear in mind, the art style is still freaking sick. Like, you know, you get those two-page panels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There'd be times where Ishida-Sensei kind of put so much detail into it, and you're like, these bits of the other chapter I'm not vibing with, but the art here is incredible. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and it feeds into that horror stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, that's sick. Those are the bits that keep pushing you as well to keep watching and reading and all that.
Fair.
Great designs all around, but yeah, I guess you'd recommend it, Nathan, from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I mean, considering I've almost watched it all, if I said no, that would be kind of weird, wouldn't it?
It's going to get to the point where you like finish season 2, like, yeah, just don't watch it. Imagine, just flip it through the side completely.
I mean, if I said that is just how traumatized I ended up getting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that'd be the only reason I'd say no, is just because I'm like, it's too much.
Don't put yourself through this.
Don't do it. Don't do that to yourself. But like, I don't know yet. I got 5 more episodes.
Use this episode as refresh yourself with Tokyo Ghoul if you haven't read it or watched it in a while like I have, or if like again you want to experience some trauma from a mid 2010 series, go for it. But it's like, for me personally, it was a cool flashback to just like go back to the series, and obviously Nathan's enjoyed the trauma so far. Anything else you want to say, Nathan, before we wrap this up, I guess?
No, I can't think of anything.
Nah.
Go and watch. He's good.
Yeah.
I mean, probably most people have, and I don't know how many people are going to be as late to a thing like me, but you know, it's worth it. I think it's good.
I think it's like I said, like as well, like I know it's a late thing here for you, but as I said before, it's a reminder for me that this series actually still holds up really well. Like, even the animation as well. Bear in mind, it's like animation's done wonders in 10 years. Like, there's, even though like you can look at some series that were going on 10 years ago,
Still holds up, like, really good.
exactly, that's one thing that holds up really well. There were some series back then where you're like, oh, animation at the time was fine for what it was, but animation's gotten so good now, you look back and be like, oh, I'm not sure about that. But this does still hold up. There's still like some amazing scenes of it. It shows how bloody this series is when half the screen is just freaking black and you can't see anything because they've censored it so much.
That is a point, yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
That's bit that caught me off guard a little bit when the rewatch. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how much they actually censor in this. Like, in the manga, there's probably like blood and guts everywhere, but in this, like, they do censor a lot. Just fine. Like, they probably just push you to read a manga instead, probably. But in which case, guys, let us know your thoughts on Tokyo Ghoul. Where was the last time you watched it, read it, whatever? Let us know in comments. Obviously, no spoilers. Nate's still here. He's still getting into the series. But yeah, thank you for listening, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button for future Culture Boys videos. Check the links in our description. We have our podcast platforms there, and we'll see you next time for another Culture Boys episode. Bye bye.
Bye.